Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift. It is hump day. Happy hump day to you. End of the night shift week. And the night we do a thing we call Real Talk Wednesday. How you doing? Whew. What a day. It's a Real Talk Wednesday, and I want to say thanks to each and every one of you for locking in right now. Big ups to you. Those are locked on and tuned in. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, rockthebox.net, One Harmony Radio across the pond. Top of the morning to you guys over there. The Foundation Radio Network with Clinton Lindsay. Anywhere that you're tuned in right now, PEMGTV.com, and here, the home of the night shift, KevinStew.com. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you, and I wouldn't even try to do it without you. Get up a little King Baba. Working out with little Rick. That's right. Good evening, Julie. I want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. When being in the moment is priceless, give them a call for innovative streaming and recording solutions. 754-999-6020. That's 754-999-6020. Or you can link them online at pulseemg.com. Some things got to get the blame. I blame it on soca music. Where do you place your blame? Kinda like this instrumental. So for a real talk tonight, earlier this week I had asked a question by way of a meme. Have you ever been grateful for being jealous? I know it's a bit of a weird question to ask because jealousy is one of those things that you don't really want to say, yeah, I am feeling this moment. I'm having this emotion at the time. 773-789 Stu is a number that gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can visit the Stew Pot, which is really the place to be. kevinstew.com. You see the Stew Pot and you'll see some people in there. Come on, jump on in. The water is always fine. Ask Marlon, he'll tell you. It's Real Talk Wednesday. It's Marlon's favorite show. That's the name of the night shift on a Wednesday. Marlon's favorite show. Marlon's favorite night shift show. let me make sure to be specific. Big ups to you, Marlon. Listen, that server needs to get fixed real quick because I'm going through withdrawals. All right. So, what is jealousy? Maybe that's the first question we really need to ask. We need to look at what is jealousy. Now, it is a complex emotion that encompasses feelings ranging from fear of abandonment to rage and humiliation. It strikes both men and women and is most typically aroused when a person receives a threat to a valued relationship from a third party. Sound familiar? Everybody can identify with that at this point, right? Jealousy is this thing that you feel when the relationship is threatened by someone else. The threat may be real, the threat may be imagined. And it's not limited to romantic relationships either. Jealousy can arise among siblings competing for parental attention. Could be co-workers, or it could be just friends. Jealousy is distinguished from envy in that jealousy always involves a third party seen as a rival for affection. Envy typically occurs when two people occurs between two people and is best summed up as I want what you have. That's the envy part. Now, jealousy is a painful emotional experience. Evolutionary psychologists regard it as an emotion to be suppressed. Not. Not at all. Not an emotion to be suppressed. But as one to actually, you want to heed it. Take it as a signal, a wake-up call that a valued relationship is in danger and that steps need to be taken to regain the affection of one's mate or friend or sibling, I guess. As a result, jealousy is seen as a necessary emotion because it preserves social bonds. It motivates people to engage in behaviors that maintain important relationships. That kind of sounds crazy as a description of what jealousy is, doesn't it? Valuable it is as a signal to improve important relationships. Quite valuable. Jealousy has the potential to fuel damaging behavior. I'm pretty sure we all have seen it. And if not, I need to know where your bubble is so I can climb into it and chill. It can compel someone to obsessively monitor a partner's communication. Relationship could be monitored obsessively, and their whereabouts could be checked on constantly. You could attempt to lower a partner's self-confidence or spur violent behavior. As a natural, universal emotion, even though it may feel taboo to talk about it, it is important to acknowledge its presence because it can guide people in strengthening their relationships. Admitting to feelings of jealousy and exploring the emotion that underpin jealousy, notably the fear of losing someone who is loved, can avert angry arguments and pave the way for a productive conversation. A conversation that needs to be had about the relationship and what it might be missing and how to fix the bond that may be broken. Not to say that it is, but it just may be. Because remember now, there's a perceived problem. Doesn't have to be a realized issue. It could just very well be perceived. And when you have something like jealousy showing up and showing out in your relationships, if you see it as a negative thing all the time, then it wouldn't help you in any way, shape, or form. It seems weird to be looking at something that everybody talks about as something to not be had, as something good. But check it out. I'm pretty sure you remember, well, if you grew up in church, as I did, you'd have heard stories of God being a loving God and a jealous God. So, if this jealousy thing is a not so good thing, why is it that the all-powerful, all-perfect Creator would experience jealousy? That kind of sounds weird, doesn't it? Why be jealous? Now, if you can resist the urge to destroy whatever it is that you can get your hands on at the time, having the feeling of jealousy can actually bring people closer together, especially couples. Because, believe it or not, there are some that say that there's nothing like a rival, even an imagined one, to make your partner look more appealing. And you know that is something that only a psychologist would say, right? Because the average person is not going to say, hey, go get yourself a rival, because it will make your partner look better. Nobody really says that. So let's paint a scenario. Here is a female. She doesn't see herself as jealous. A writer, smart, attractive, was dating a guy a little bit older. And she takes a position that, hey, he sees me as this pretty young thing, or this young pretty thing. Either way, it works. And there was a feeling of confidence on her part. But as their intimacy deepened, she grew anxious. She didn't understand why. He had pictures of his ex on his computer, and she became worried if he went out with his friends without her. You see the flag being placed on the pole, and it's starting to rise, right? After a lot of fighting and a broken engagement, the couple decide to have an open relationship. Funny how something stressful can lead to something else, something challenging. So they have a broken engagement and fighting, and so they say, okay, we're gonna have an open relationship. I don't know if that's reason to have an open relationship, but they decide to do it. That action only accelerated the drama, with both partners acting on their feelings of jealousy. He actually broke the guy goes into the girl's apartment, steals her laptop while she is out, and what she does is retaliate by sneaking into his apartment. Seeing his apartment, he's seeing his computer. And on his computer, there's a dating site and messages with several women. And she goes to break a few bowls and throw out his clothes out of his closet. But as she threw his clothes on the floor, she had a moment. That aha moment, a moment of clarity. Being jealous has turned her into someone that she didn't recognize. And now she says, you know what? We had both reached our lows. So something has to change. Jealousy is a painful emotion. And most of us hate to admit that we ever actually feel it. To be romantically jealous is to recognize that our partner might feel attraction to someone else, that they might act on that feeling, and that you may be left powerless to stop it. Well, this awareness can trigger a cocktail of emotions so noxious. You're talking about rage, insecurity, self-doubt, embarrassment, all these things that many people prefer to deny its existence. Let me say this. In my opinion, if your partner is going to choose to do something, it is going to happen. And there may be little to nothing that you can do to stop it. So, if your partner is still your partner and you feel that they're stepping out of the relationship, so to speak, chances are you can't fix it. Chances are you can't stop it. This is a culture that does not tolerate the emotion called jealousy, as according to Esther Perel, who is a therapist and author of Mating in Captivity, Unlocking Erotic Intelligence. The majority of people do not have a conversation about jealousy because the feeling itself is one that is considered taboo. That is unfortunate, according to Perel. Because while jealousy can be dangerous in its extreme forms, the feeling is completely normal. It's not something you learn along the way. It is something that you're born with. It's a universal human emotion, one of many that is part of the multi-layered experience referred to as love. What? Jealousy is a part of love? How can this be? Jealousy is not seen as something positive. Jealousy is seen as something negative. How can jealousy be a part of love? That doesn't make sense, does it? But that is Esther Perel's point of view. Jealousy is a part of love. And what's more is it can actually be a catalyst to improving the relationship you may be having. But in order to do that, we have to learn to listen to it. We could improve our romantic and our sexual lives and possibly save some, I don't know, figurines, some china, some decorative pieces in our homes if we just learn to listen to what this emotion is telling us. So you have to ask the question. You kind of have to ask the question, why are we going to have this jealousy? What's the purpose of jealousy? If it is a part of love, what part of love does it come in as? Love is this wonderful thing that makes everything smell beautiful and everything feel comfy and everything just nice and fuzzy and warm, and isn't it? Well, I guess you could look at love that way. But if every dark cloud has a silver lining and you see the love as a silver lining, then there must be a dark cloud part. So is jealousy this dark cloud part of love? Could it be? Or are we misguided with this dark cloud thing altogether? Now there's a thought. There is a thought. What's your opinion? 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text. You're invited to jump on into the pot, the stew pot, and share your views. Go to kevinstew.com, come on in, let me know what you think. Share with me. Share with us. We're talking about jealousy tonight. Have you felt it? Are you experiencing it? Do you know how to listen to what it is saying? We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we try to figure out what purpose jealousy serves as it relates to love and our relationships. And when I say love, I mean love in its purest sense. We'll be right back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
Are you crazy about the music industry? You aspire to hit it big in music? Or maybe you've sweated out a soulful killer beat and are now stuck finding it's not as easy as it looked. Oh, but it can be easy for you with JTMC. We've been there, we know how it feels, so we solve challenges like production, promotion, marketing, branding and development, and more. With over 30 years of experience, JTMC is a one-stop shop for artists. We handle your graphic design, writing services, PR, as well as event planning, e-blasts, artist management, and bookings, so also your website and social media needs as well. We're experts in using creativity to persuade audiences on behalf of artists, drawing on our diverse experience to create projects that connect with audiences intellectually and emotionally. Artist success is everything to us, and our years of experience and commitment will be behind you for every one of your needs. If you've got music for the world to hear, whether you're a new or established artist, visit us at jtmcenterprise.com.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school,
In math,
I learned that I'm ugly
I
and
learned
useless.
that I'm trash.
And in gym,
In biology,
I learned that I'm
I learned
pathetic
that I'm fat
and a
and
joke.
stupid.
In history,
Today in
I learned that
school,
I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick.
And in
And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell.
and in
In chemistry, I learned that no one
In
likes me.
biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in
I learned
math,
that I make people
I
sick.
learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today,
The only thing I didn't learn today
The only thing I didn't learn,
It's why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
This is Gia Yee, and you're listening to The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
Jadan Empress. You know, say the love for the Rasta youth have for your endless. Better never know. I look ya know, I look ya. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the Foray. From the day she link with Jadan, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the Foray. From the day she link with Iman, she said she love her Rastafari. She tell me she like everything she see in her Iman. She want every second out of me time, and she woulda give me anything, although she no mind man. And the spice of me give her, she have a mind pan. So me take her to the river, dash her with the bad pan. Inna the hills, big ol' links, brain, bobo man, him have the herbs and the wine for we meditation. Good loving, it's you and we expand. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the Foray. From the day she link with Jadan, she said she love her Rastafari. You never know you woulda love said she love half Rastafari. She tell me, I say she love Rastafari. And she tell I say she have something far. I know for them can't believe. For Congo Bongo have a rope and a squeeze. All of a sudden she no want no red meat. Strictly ital true. Or some greens. She a tell I about the coconut with the bean. I say anytime no, she a come pa me scheme. She never know she woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far.
Again.
Today she link with Jordan. She says she love half Rastafari. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far. From the day she link with Iman, she said she love half Rastafari.
The track is called Congo Bongo.
Know you woulda love the Congo Bongo.
Artist goes by the name Jadan.
You woulda love the far.
I want to welcome you back to the show. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. End of the night shift week, I think we call Real Talk Wednesday. I want to say thanks to GMAC Music Solutions, the sponsor of this segment of the show, providing you with stage production services, musical equipment, musicians, singers, DJs, engineers, lighting, you name it. They bring your event to life. Let's get them a call, 754-307-GMAC, 754-307-4622, or visit them at gmac.musicsolutions.com. When you link them, tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you, right?
She said she love half Rastafari. You never know you woulda love the Congo Bongo. You never know you woulda love the far.
Welcome 860, welcome 158. So, here is one perspective when it comes to the feeling of jealousy. Sometimes people feel jealousy because they have a misconception of what love is or is supposed to be. Okay. What do you mean when you say people have a misconception of what love is or what it's supposed to be? 773-789 Stu gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. Because I know you personally would probably have perspectives on this subject, given your vast knowledge and all. But you know, I agree. People feel jealous because they have a misconception of what love is or what it is supposed to be. But coming from what angle are you taking it? Jealousy is usually defined as the emotional reaction. Okay, here we go. Example. Some people think that when you love someone, here it is. When you love someone, you own that person and are then in control. You are then allowed to control everything that person does. Who they interact with, the clothes they wear, you name it. Their whole being now becomes yours. And when that person veers away from those expectations, here it is, the green-eyed monster pops up. Jealousy rears its ugly head. So this in this case, no third party is mentioned. It just, when someone goes outside of what you perceive their mannerism, their behavior is supposed to be. Interesting. Jealousy is usually defined as the emotional reaction to a threat to one's relationship from a real or imagined romantic rival. That was something that we said from early on. And we made a distinction between envy and jealousy. Because people often mix up the two. Envy being, I want what you have. Jealousy is, I have something I think you want, and I think you're coming to get it. And that is when there's a perceived threat to a relationship. And this is the perspective of Erica Slaughter, who is a professor of psychology at Villanova University. You have what I want, and I'm coming to get it. So, the threat. One reason it's painful to admit to feeling jealousy is that it could indicate a power imbalance in a relationship. Oh, so now it's a power struggle. David Buss, a professor of psychology at the University of Texas and at Austin, and the author of Dangerous Passion: Why Jealousy is necessary as love and sex, says it's a signal that your partner is higher in mate value, or that you are generally threatened or fearful that your partner might leave. That is another interesting perspective. A signal that your partner is higher in mate value. I had never thought of applying a value to a mate. But no, if that's how you're going to paint the picture, then we can see jealousy playing out in a power struggle for real. He also says people intentionally try to suppress the expression of jealousy. It is in its most extreme form. Buss says jealousy can be exceedingly damaging. It is the leading driver of homicide of romantic partners, particularly of wives, girlfriends, and exes. If it's an ex, why don't you just let them go? Let them be. Are you that tied? Is the love that strong? Or is it something else? Bum bum bum. It can also compel people to attempt to control their partners in unhealthy ways. Incessantly monitoring their whereabouts, cutting them off from friends and family, or trying to undermine their self-esteem or convince them that no one else would have them. That's when the mind control thing comes into play. Because no, they're saying, here's the deal. Nobody else can really give you the love that I can give you. Nobody else can be that person to you that I am. And if you think that anybody else can do that, then you're mistaken. But here's the kicker. Here's the flip. Here's the different perspective to take. Jealousy has a purpose. Evolutionary psychologists see jealousy as a mechanism that helps people ward off mate poaching. When there's a threat and people become jealous, that jealousy motivates them to engage in behaviors that interfere with the partner going somewhere else. This is what Edgar LeMay, professor of psychology at the University of Maryland, said. That's his perspective. Such actions, putting your arm around a spouse at a party, befriending a partner's cute co-worker, or these actions are called mate retention behaviors. And a recent study by LeMay and Angela Neal, a professor of psychology at the University of South Carolina, Lancaster, indicates that such gestures can be quite effective in reeling partners back in. How interesting is that? In the study, heterosexual couples kept daily diaries reporting whether they had felt tempted by another potential romantic or sexual partner, whether they thought their partner had felt tempted, and how committed they felt to their relationship. The researchers found that participants detected partners' temptation quite acutely and, well, quite accurately. And then they take the position, you are not getting away with checking people out and your partner not noticing, according to Neil. Not surprisingly, the team found that people were more likely to engage in mate guarding on days they thought their partner's eyes were roving. But they also found that participants reported greater levels of commitment to their relationship after a partner took mate guarding action. Now, I need a pause. This mate guarding, of which they speak, they're saying then that it's a good thing when that partner decides to be possessive? Because that sounds like an act of possession to me. This mate guarding. This holding on to your partner to say, hey, this one is mine. This marking of territory, so to speak. The findings, Neil believes, indicates that a little jealousy can benefit a relationship. Too much can potentially have bad implications. But in some respects, jealousy is a positive thing. She says, if your relationship is without jealousy, that might be an indication that your partner doesn't care about you very much. Might. I think that's a key word to recognize there. But an interesting perception or position to take nonetheless. That because your partner isn't jealous, that they don't care. Only because jealousy is a natural thing and everybody gets to do it. But jealousy becomes dangerous when you are too deep in it. It can be annoying to have a partner glance at your phone to see who it is that you've been texting. But it can also be reassuring and even a little exciting to know that your partner is worried, just a little bit, especially if your relationship is relatively new. It might even compel you to put the phone down and tell him how nice he looks, ladies, or how nice she looks, gentlemen. Neil and LeMay's study mostly involved younger couples in new relationships. Situations where jealousy is most likely to occur as partners suss out their levels of commitment. In long-term relationships, jealousy tends to die down over time. But when it arises, it will be wise for any couple to view it as a wake-up call. Not as a fire, but as a flare, a signal, a sign that something is just not quite right. Michelle Sheenkman, a couples therapist in New York, says a couple may be together for many years when suddenly something happens that needs attention. So it's not a fire, it's a flare. Longtime couples, Shinkman suggests, can begin sleepwalking through a relationship, having routine sex or maybe no sex at all. Then one day, out of the blue, boom, here it is. You might find a wife working out with a buff personal trainer, or a husband hitting it off with a cute divorced mom during the school pickup. And their spouses then remember, wait a minute, other people think my partner is kind of attractive, but I think my partner is attractive too. So maybe I should pay a little bit more attention to that and start showing it. It's actually very interesting how many people pay no attention to their partner until someone else comes along and says, hey, yo, what's up? And Esther Perel thinks that very same way too. If jealousy is healthy or even beneficial, why then does it wreak havoc in so many relationships? What is the issue? Apparently the problem is not the feeling, but the action. It is how we act on that feeling. Neil and LeMay's study didn't distinguish between mate-retaining behaviors, but LeMay says they are far from equal. Steps like excessive snooping, manipulation, and controlling undermine satisfaction. The person in the scenario, the female in the scenario, we'll call her Kate. She dealt with her jealousy by trying to make the guy jealous. She dated other men. She sexted exes, kept pictures of them on her phone. The very same behavior that she had condemned her mate, her partner for. It wasn't, I'm going to show him. It was more self-protective. I will reach out to my exes and occupy my time and put an imaginary distance between us, because that way I won't feel as vulnerable. There's an interesting word. Vulnerable. I was going to say vulnerability. But maybe I should look at that one next. Vulnerability. What is being vulnerable? Is that a good thing? That should be next week's topic, right? Vulnerability? I think so. What say you? Let me know. Quickly, just shoot me a text message. 773-789-STEW. Just say yes or no. Vulnerability for the next Real Talk topic. Let me know in the stew pot. Post it in the stew pot. Yes or no. This only made Kate, this feeling of, this removal of the feeling of vulnerability, this putting of imaginary distance between them as a couple, it made her more paranoid. Basically, she goes to start saying, I feel like an idiot. I'm not even the jealous type, and I'm so attached to him, rather than to relax into that vulnerability and recognize that that is love. Thank you, Julie. She treated her man as an adversary. I always thought that jealousy was a threatening emotion that would lead someone to hurt me, she says. It felt like a bad thing, that I should be ashamed of that, and that it would drive someone away. It's a sentiment Perel is familiar with from hearing spouses complain about partners flirting with attractive neighbors or messaging exes on Facebook. People pride themselves on being above this weak emotion, Perel says. When clients insist that they're angry, annoyed, traumatized even, anything but jealous. Perel finally tells them, hey, I'm listening to you, and there's one thing that you're not telling me. You're not saying that you're jealous. Thank you, Marlon. If you tell me you are jealous, then I actually get to see a sexual woman or a sexual man who is missing their partner. At that point, we are in the right story. Because here's the thing. If, and this is a position I've always held. If you and someone are friends, and then you start a relationship that goes beyond your friendship, if that aspect of the relationship ends, let's say you get married, if you get divorced, are you supposed to stop being friends? Well, even before we get to the point of getting divorced or the relationship ending, if you transition from being friends to being lovers, partners, does your friendship end? Food for thought. Because when it gets to the point of the relationship ending now, what do you become? Strangers? You were friends before. Why can't you be friends after? Is the hurt of the breakup that great that you don't want anything to do with the person? Or is it that you still have these feelings for the person, so it's difficult? What is it? Anyway, we're looking at jealousy. And although that could be painted in there in that jealousy image, that jealousy picture, I don't know. So here it is. Kate and her man are working their way back to being exclusive. And she says that owning up to her jealousy was the first step towards closing the rift. He says, I feel like you love me when you say that. I don't think you cared for so long because you never got jealous. And oh, there are so many elements to that. Yeah, there are. But here it is. Kate's man telling her, hey, you didn't get jealous. I didn't think you cared. So jealousy is the only way to show that you care? How about you just tell the person, hey, listen, I care. And yeah, I kind of felt a little way when you were talking to the buff personal trainer or the sexy neighbor. But I care. How about that being the driving point? Just a thought. When you smash a plate or steal a phone after a run-in with your partner's ex, he or she will probably be able to put 2 and 2 together. But more common, let me say, are positive moves whose source a partner may not be able to trace. Some people try to make themselves more attractive or commit to spending more quality time with a partner when they begin to feel jealousy, when they begin to have that experience. Your partner might not know that your motivation for wanting to do things with them is to keep them from seeing someone else. That right there. I want to spend more time with you because that will keep me from wanting to spend time with someone else. Is that such a bad thing though? Things that make you go, Top of the hour. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more. Thanks to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment. We're going to take a quick little break. Call a friend, tell a friend. You went through that. You were perceived as not caring because you're not jealous. And here it is. But you cared, right? You were just more confident in your relationship than the other person, than the average person. And not being jealous, is that such a negative thing? Although being jealous could actually be a good thing. Not being jealous, would that be necessarily a bad thing? 773-789-STEW, kevinstew.com. Jump into the Stew Pod. Let's hear from you. Let's be interactive. We'll be right back. When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Roll out with Island Rock Music and have fun. Check out the quality apparel at islandrockmusic.com. Designed for you and your crew. Hear the music, feel the breeze, with selected tracks and more. Available now from the online store at islandrockmusic.com. islandrockmusic.com. Log on today and ride with us.
Stepping, these are roots vibrations. Stepping.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy P, Denny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Amber Leak, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations on the rhythm. Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
Hi, this is Cara Manti, and you're listening to DJ Kevin Stew, and this is The Night Shift.
Although my head was in the clouds, I should have heard your actions loud. I saw you cheat on some and scheme to get your way. The signs were blaring in my eyes. You were so stealth at telling lies. Strategic default was your way of getting by. It just took one more shove to push me past the point of no return. One more disrespect and dollar took to make me see. One more selfish act to show me that you were not sincere. You relied upon my blood, sweat, and tears. I've had enough. My cup is full, and there's no more room for bullshit. You took until there was no more, but now I both feet on the floor. I've had enough. My cup is full, and there's no more room for bullshit. You took until there was no more, but now I both feet on the floor. So you put your knees in front of mine. It's my fault for not seeing the signs. Now it's time to just move on. So let's just call it a truce. There is no win, just lose. Now it's time to say goodbye. No, you put your needs in front of mine. It's my fault for not seeing the signs. Now it's time to just move on. So let's just call it a truce. There is no win, just lose. Now it's time to say goodbye. I've had enough. My cup is full, and there's no more room for bullshit. You took until there was no more, but now I both feet on the floor. I've had enough. My cup is full, and there's no more room for bullshit. You took until there was no more.
Music here from GAE.
Now I both feet
Track is called Both Feet from the album Reggae Prescription.
on the floor.
I want to say thanks to JTMC Enterprise for sponsoring this segment of the show. JTMC providing you with tour management, bookings, promotions, event management, social media management. All these services are available to you. Just give them a call, 678-793-8800, 678-793-8800, or visit them online at jtmcenterprise.com, or drop them an email, jtmcenterprisellc@gmail.com. When you link them, tell them you heard about them right here on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Right? Cool. So, before we went off on the break, excuse me, one person was saying in the pot, I went through this perceived as not caring because I wasn't jealous thing. And a perspective was shared that some people would rather see the action of jealousy than to speak about it because talking is hard. And hey, you know what? Talking is hard. But okay, so you were just trusting that your partner wouldn't cross the line. And if that trust wasn't there, then the relationship is going nowhere as far as you're concerned. So excuse me. So it's a trust issue. If you don't have that trust, then you have that trust, so you believe that your partner should just know that you trust them and that they should trust you. So there's no need to have a feeling of jealousy. But is that a conversation that you had to say, okay, this is how I am. I am trusting. And trusting to a fault where I don't see why I need to be jealous. I just care. I trust. We're in a relationship. Let's do this. Was that a conversation that was had, or it was just implied and understood, believed to be understood? Because it could just be a matter of communication. Now, surprisingly, jealousy can motivate you not to attack perceived romantic rivals, but to become more like them. In a study Slaughter conducted, participants read a list of attributes: artistic, athletic, and indicated which described themselves and which did not. Later, they returned to the lab and listened to or imagined a scenario in which their partner either flirted with or rebuffed a romantic rival. Each participant was then viewed a personality profile of the fictitious rival, which had been drafted to include the specific characteristics that he or she had previously said were not true of themselves. After being exposed to the flirting scenario, participants were more likely to change their self-identification to match their rivals. How interesting was that? For example, a man who did not identify as athletic in the initial session would be more likely to do so after hearing the scenario in which his partner had flirted with a romantic rival that was a sports jock. But those who exposed to the rebuffing scenario, they remained as they were. They did not make a switch. This led Slaughter to conclude that partner behavior drove the change in self-perception. Slaughter says, it is unclear whether the impulse to change one's self-perception to please a mate is positive or negative, though it appears to work at least to a point. Being athletic isn't necessarily a bad thing. It could be functional insofar as keeping the partner's attention on you and perhaps promoting new positive characteristics within yourself. But there's probably a line one should not cross. If you're chronically feeling so insecure that you're changing yourself a lot, it could make you confused about what your identity is. Beyond that, any relationship in which you are experiencing a high frequency of jealousy is probably a relationship that has other issues. Now, the issue might be with you, the person with the perceived jealousy. A partner's personality type is one crucial underlying issue. A study conducted by Robert Rydell, a psychology professor at Indiana University, explored the roots of suspicious jealousy. Jealousy that has no apparent trigger other than seeing a film and found that people who displayed suspicious jealousy had higher levels of insecurity and anxiety and lower self-esteem. An early traumatic experience can also predispose a person to hypervigilance in their later relationships. So this may very well be something that is coming from way back when something happened. You don't even have to know what the something is, but something happened. It could be buried in your subconscious. Or you could know exactly what it was. Patrice Cosavera was constantly jealous whenever her fiancé looked at a picture of a model or got a call from a female friend. If he chatted with an attractive cashier or waitress, she'd subject him to an inquisition. Were you flirting with her? Do you like her? Any kind of female presence that wasn't family was always threatening. Crosavera realized she was driving her fiancé to distraction, and in her more rational moments, she knew the problem wasn't his wandering eye. She had behaved the same way in her previous 3 relationships. As it happened, when she was 17, her first boyfriend cheated on her, and she hadn't let her guard down since. Once she identified the true source of her anxiety, Crosavera and her fiancé were able to work together. He agreed to be more sensitive, for example, by refraining from commenting on the attractiveness of film stars, and she committed to trying to relax. I don't know if that is an equal level of commitment, but it works for them. And that is one of the important things in relationships. You have to find what works for you, because it is your relationship. Anybody on the outside can say anything that they want to say. They're not in the relationship. Crosavera says, I always thought he was being defensive, but in hindsight, it seems like he was hurt. He truly didn't understand why I was reacting the way I did. And in so many situations, this is exactly what happens. One person perceives a situation to be one way, and the other is living the situation completely opposite and getting a whole lot of grief because of the perceived situation. So that leaves, in this case, Crosavera's fiance to be really confused. So he is quite possibly just a charming guy, and in being a charming guy, just pleasant. So he interacts with people, and he calls them as he sees them. Oh, she's an attractive girl. Let's keep it moving. Doesn't mean anything to him to call out how someone appears. But for her, that is what her first boyfriend did, and it led to something else, and he is just going to do the same thing. Hold on, my girl. Just a moment. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. Have a conversation. Communication is key. But even better than that, if everybody is open and upfront, you would know for sure. And maybe that is for another show. Being open, honest, and authentic. Or have I touched on that one? Now I wonder. So, with this jealousy thing, now it becomes a virtual reality versus a real jealousy. Which is which? Learning to handle jealousy can be especially beneficial because it is easy for a partner, intentionally or not, to induce the feeling in us. How easy? Well, a virtual reality experiment conducted at the University of Arizona gives some insight. 10 heterosexual couples participated in an exercise in the virtual reality platform Second Life. The couples were physically separated into different cubicles, but were together in a virtual coffee shop. About 2 minutes later, after about 2 minutes, an avatar controlled by a member of the research team started speaking only with the opposite sex partner, while totally ignoring the same sex partner. And did that for about 6 minutes. Though the confederate didn't overtly flirt, the exercise often evoked strong expressions of jealousy and higher cortisol levels in the non-targeted partners. More so than we expected, honestly, says Mary Frances O'Connor, the professor of psychology who oversaw the study. Through their avatars, many participants employed the same mate-guarding behaviors that are seen in real life, such as physically standing between the partner and the rival and challenging the interloper. Basically the she's with me and the I'm standing right here. And there was even cases of some swearing. The I own this one right here kind of a deal. The responses embodied reactive jealousy, a feeling stimulated by an actual event, like discovering a string of flirty texts between your wife and her colleague, her college boyfriend. Reactive jealousy says, I am going to prevent this. I'm going to interfere when I see early signs. Mark Attridge, a consultant on workplace mental health, says this is the reactive jealousy action. In the real world, the challenge is determining whether your feelings of jealousy are suspicious or reactive. Are you paranoid or are you perceptive? Asa Levon was seized with feelings of jealousy whenever he saw his then wife hanging out with her work husband. You know, everybody has a work partner of some sort. Asa got jealous when he saw his wife at the time with her work husband whenever they were at family picnics or other outings. But she denied that anything romantic was happening between the two of them. If I brought it up, she'd say, yeah, you really don't need to talk like that. You don't need to be like that. You're making things up. He says, I was jealous all the time, but I didn't have the language to talk about it. Levon was wrong about the co-worker. It was a purely platonic relationship. But he was right that his wife was cheating, just that it was with someone else. My attention was toward the person I could see, he said. But there was something behind all the closed doors and curtains that I had not considered. While his marriage was damaged beyond repair, Levar, who is currently unattached, says the experience taught him to respect his jealousy rather than to suppress it. Now, if seeing a friend or a date flirting with someone else causes him pangs, he will recognize that he may be failing or falling for that person and then let them know. I use jealousy as an emotional buzzer, a red alert. You may be ready for something more, he says. He also learned to respect jealousy in his partners. Levar, who runs a training and development agency in Oklahoma City, often speaks in public, and he recalls a time a girlfriend became upset with the way he bantered with audience members. A long open conversation followed in which he listened to her concern and explained that he was just receiving well wishes. She accepted this, but he also agreed to scale it back a little bit. I didn't change who I was essentially as a person, he says, but I didn't squeeze every person with the intensity that I did before. I just created a boundary. Although research indicates that men and women experience jealousy with roughly equal frequency and intensity, Boss says there are important distinctions. Male jealousy can be significantly more dangerous. In Western countries, 50 to 70% of adult women who were murdered were killed by a husband, a boyfriend, or ex, while only 3% of murdered men die at the hands of a female partner or ex. So guys, we are pretty much better off with this jealousy thing. But not totally out of the woods. That 3% could be you. I'm sorry. Just playing. Men and women also tend to be provoked by different triggers. For men, the prospect of physical betrayal is usually more upsetting, while women are more likely to be disturbed by emotional infidelity. Evolutionary psychologists attribute this distinct relationship insecurities men and women face. Men worry more about sexual betrayal because it might lead to devoting care and resources to children who are not theirs, while women have an interest in ensuring that their mate is emotionally invested enough to stick around and help raise their children. There's the stress that these are just generalities, though. Some people say women don't care about sexual infidelity and men don't care about emotional infidelity. Basically, it's not true. Both sexes are extremely upset by both forms, but men tend to key in more heavily on the sexual aspect and women on the emotional aspect. At their first gay pride weekend together, Brian was appalled by Jeremy's booty shorts and tight t-shirt. And Jeremy was equally horrified by Brian's polo shirt and cargo pants. And when Brian saw the open stares Jeremy was getting from other men, he demanded that his partner change his outfit. Why? Jeremy would ask. And he said, all these guys are looking at you. He said, well, that's kind of the point. For Jeremy, flirting is an analog good. Growing up, he was an overweight gay kid with acne. Now, with a fit body and clear skin, he basks in sexual attention. it really does spring from a childhood where no one paid attention to me. Now that I have that ability, it's like take my shirt off and dance on a box. Just to be flirting and to be the object of desire is a new experience. So now married to Brian, Jeremy has no problem when men flirt with his husband because he knows where it's coming from. Now he actually likes it. When I see someone flirting with Brian, he says he is validating the fact that I made a good choice. He's a great guy, and of course, you want him. But guess what? He's mine. That kind of thinking right there, he's mine. Oh boy. That's another show. It can be kind of a turn on, realizing, yes, that guy wants us, but he's not going to get us, says Jeremy, who is an engineer in Phoenix. Brian hasn't always seen it that way. He has often felt hurt when Jeremy smiled encouragingly as another man hit on him. But over time, Jeremy has helped Brian appreciate the added charge of a little harmless flirting. I told him, think about all those guys thinking, I want to take that guy home, and you are the one who gets to do it. These guys want to have what you have. You're the only one who captured my heart. That works for someone that has a relationship like that. But remember now, there are people who have different kinds of relationships. What is considered to be alternate relationships. And whereas we are not going to look at jealousy in alternate relationships tonight, it's something to think about when processing how jealousy works. Jealousy can be an electric force in a relationship, either productive or destructive. To benefit from the signals embedded in the feeling, Shinkman says it is important to set some boundaries and specifics. And the specifics don't matter as long as both parties are comfortable with the boundaries. I'd want to help a couple find balance of security and freedom, commitment, and independence, she says. Brian, for example, tries to give Jeremy more leeway when they're out, when Jeremy has agreed to tone it down. On the dance floor, the shirt will come off and he'll say, I think you need to calm down a little bit. And okay, fine, is what the response would be. And if someone starts flirting too aggressively, Jeremy now makes his relationship status clear, sometimes by walking across a room and kissing Brian. We've been together for 5 years, he says. I'm not going to leave him for someone I met in a bar that night. It's just not going to happen. There have been few studies on homosexual couples and jealousy, but research indicates that gay men in committed relationships may accommodate the general straight or gay male desire for sexual variety more than many heterosexual or lesbian couples would. For example, by allowing a greater degree of flirtation. They may try to keep busy. They may try to keep jealousy tamped down by expressing a desire for variety. Although they still feel jealousy as much as individuals in any other relationship. Living with uncertainty in a relationship can be quite stressful. You can never be completely sure that you won't lose a partner to someone else. But you can make uncertainty work for you by keeping yourself from becoming complacent and reminding yourself in the best possible way that no one can ever truly possess another person. We can only hope to connect for as long and as deeply as possible. We all have to manage these inherent dilemmas of love. Yes, My partner loves me. But if someone very attractive comes their way, there's always a possibility. That is the reality that we must face. There's always a possibility. When one partner begins to feel jealous, excuse me, it can launch a cycle of accusation and defense. Breaking free requires both partners to shed blame and shame so that they can move from defensiveness to vulnerability. Couples therapist Michelle Shinkman takes that position. They can move to a position of vulnerability. Why would I want to be vulnerable? It starts with admitting to feeling jealous. That's where it starts. And then articulating the emotions underpinning it. Your love for your partner, your fear of losing them. This approach is far more productive than hurling accusations or forbidding a partner from ever seeing the opposite sex. It could be a childhood friend. It could be a new friend. Saying, I'm so jealous is very different from, you're an idiot, you're an ass. The feeling is the same, but you can speak from a position of vulnerability. You have so much better of a chance of working it through. It is also important for couples to assess what may be missing from their relationship and what may be causing their eyes to rove. Therapist Esther Perel often suggests that clients write a note to their partner explaining that they miss the person and that perhaps they have been present enough in the relationship themselves. Then you begin to say, I'm jealous because I see how other people are drawn to you. Or I see the effect you have on others and how much charm you have and how little effort you put out when you are with me. I want you to talk to me the way you would talk to your business partner or to your client. I want you to give me that kind of attention. I want you to be that person with me. But do you really want the person that is on show for the business partner, for the client? Or you want the person that is real to you? Things that make you go, That's a question that only you, the person having the experience, can answer, right? Nobody can answer it for you. But think on these things. Is that feeling of jealousy that you're having something that you can use to as a signal that you need to make an adjustment? Whether it is a physical adjustment or otherwise, you need to make an adjustment within yourself. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a good thing. Is it that you need to make some changes in your relationship and how you act in that relationship? But either way, any which way you slice it, there has to be some kind of communication. Go ahead and be genuine in that communication. Don't leave anything to chance, because then that jealousy becomes a virtual reality that is acted out realistically. This is new music from Tennille. It's called Man You're Beautiful.
Like the stars that brightens up the night, hand in my hand, hold me tight. Eyes so deep, like the ocean so mysterious. Boy, you make me feel
want to thank JTMC for sponsoring this previous segment. And thank Wake Up and Live Show with Sir Rockwell for sponsoring this current segment. Sir Rockwell kicks it off with the Wake Up and Live Show in the morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time.
Like the stars that brightens up the night. Hand in my hand.
Tomorrow it's Super Thursday.
Eyes so deep, like the ocean so mysterious. Boy, you make me feel so damn delirious.
Taking this once more from the top.
'Cause you're so beautiful.
Track called Man You're Beautiful, courtesy of J-Vibe Music Productions.
So small. You bring joy and laughter, good with
This is Tenille.
me ever after. What else can I say? Then man, you're beautiful. You make the sun come up on a rainy day. You're like the hurricane that blows my cares away. You keep me guessing with every move you make. Everything about you makes my heart quake. 'Cause you're so beautiful, flaws and all. You make every obstacle seem so small. You bring joy and laughter, could we live happy ever after? What else can I say? And man, you're beautiful. Oh, 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 oh. What else can I say? And man, you're beautiful. Oh, 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 oh. What else can I say? A kaleidoscope of color. You are every force of nature, and you got me under your spell. Just like gravity, you pull me and can't get away. But I don't wanna be with nobody else. Oh, 'cause you're so beautiful, flaws and all. You make every obstacle seem so small. You bring joy and laughter, could we live happy ever after? What else can I say? And man, you're beautiful. What else can I say? What else can I say? You're beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful, remember this happy blanket? So beautiful. It's still available. Give me a call, 773-789-STEW. Drop me a line, drop me a text. All you have to say is, I want the happy Jamaican blanket. And I can make it happen. And of course, there's still advertising spots available on kevinstew.com and The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Use the same number. Let's connect. Let's work it out. This is Shanika. A track called Like I Do.
My one and only. Nobody's gonna love you like I do. Baby boy, I can't.
This one coming out to the B Will
Even when you're away.
Studios, working out and
Funny how I thought I'd never be around.
working out with J Vibe.
Baby, me and you forever. When bad man come, we're laughing together.
No better love out there than this, I swear. And anytime you need me, baby, call me. I'll be a genie in a bottle, always pick you up when you're down. Never
Thank you very much, Julie.
me and you forever. When
Truly appreciate all of the support.
together, the only one that I need is you. This love that I give is true. And baby, no one's gonna love you like I do. No, no, never. The haters, they don't wanna see me and you grow together, but I'm down for you. And you're down for me. Baby, yes, I'm down for you. We are down for each other. Life can't get no better with you.
Girl, you got the moves, you got the juice, you got the flavor, got the sauce, oh yeah. Anywhere you wanna go, just say the word and you know I'ma take you there. Oh,
This is on a King Charles.
body remind you, and if you feel
The
loud,
track is called Juice.
oh, I just wanna make you
From his album Still Searching.
waste no time. Change your life. You and I will chase the skies and no limit. If you want to, you can be my queen and I will be your king forever. If you want to, you can be my queen and I will be.
Just as a reminder, I still have 2 tickets available for the Spring Jam celebration,
The flavor got the sauce on yeah. Anywhere
courtesy of Papa Beto Music.
the word and you know I'ma take you there. Oh yeah.
I'm still waiting 3 things about Julian Lee or Jillian J. You get 2 tickets to the Saturday, April 13 Spring Jam celebration. Featuring Richie Stevens, Ed Robinson, Papa Beto, Fiona, Ruffy, and King Banton. Happening in the Garden, 4340 North State Road 7, in Lauderdale Lakes.
Some come with house and money and vehicle. I mean she want to touch her. Some a buy her fancy things and take her on the world, but I mean she want to touch her. When we touch it's like rain and fall. I mean she want to touch her. A rasta she want to touch her. Yeah. So I touch her in the morning, touch her in the evening. Good loving from the rasta man she receiving. Loyal empress, I me know she no deceiving. She a blaze, movie is fine, dinner is fine, but right now she need to unwind. It's touching time. She tell me say a touching time. Some a come in house and money and vehicle. I mean she want to touch her. Some a buy her fancy things and take her on the world, but I mean she want to touch her. When we touch it's like rain and fall. I mean she want to touch her. A rasta she want to touch her. A blind, she feel like she wanna fly. But she never yet been so high. She's in love, she cannot deny. Oh me, oh my, oh me, oh my. Rasta I give her more than text. Stimulate her mind, body, soul, intellect. Take her to some place that she never been yet. Seen some things that she never seen yet. She say me want you bingy trust me. She say me need you bingy touch me. She say me want you bingy trust me. She say me need you bingy touch me. Some a come with house and money and vehicle. Now me she want to touch her. Some a buy her fancy things and take her on the world, but me she want to touch her. When we touch it's like rain and fall. And me she want to touch her. A rasta she want to touch her. Well, then, you mean Oh yo, she on the food pan plate. Now bend down low, she want elevate. Blah blah blah, and them not penetrate. Now the Rasta pass you and she start celebrate. See what you see and do what you're doing. Cause she's got something, hey, hey, that money can buy. So I come with booze and money and vehicle.
Son of Bingy Blaze. Track called Rasta Touch, courtesy of Kevo Gitz. These are all South Florida artists or South Florida produced tracks.
Touch me again, she said touch me again. Touch me again, she said touch me again. She know without a doubt I am a touching legend. I don't know it X can't touch me again. You're gonna.
This is G Mac. Things you say you love. I just want to say thank you to each and everyone for hanging out with me tonight and the other nights this week. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your support. I do encourage you to do something good for someone in your community today. And your community is not just the development that you live in. It spreads far and wide. So whether you walk, ride or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat or the train, the people that you pass, these are all your neighbors. Do something good for one of them today because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Steele. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Just a reminder, be good. But if you can't be good at it.
That's why I say,
I'll be back on Monday with Community and Finance. All being well, Marlon will be back with Real Rockers. And that will be just before me. Remember to catch Melissa Jane tomorrow on Facebook Live on the Melissa Jane Show. And Sir Rockwell at 7 a.m. on rockbox.net.
things you say you love, you're gonna lose. Things you say you love, you're gonna lose. The bad things that you've done, you're gonna lose. The things you say you love, you're gonna lose.
5 minutes to the top of the hour. Let me get out of here with this Hezron track. I haven't played Hezron much this week, have I? No. Leaving you with a little Hezron tonight. The track is called Young Girl. Y'all take care until
The thickest makeup your fancy dressed up could not hide the scars inside. Your sweetest smile, those pretty eyes could not disguise the hurt you feel inside. Young girl, young girl, said I don't wanna see you crying in the rain. But if they only knew the half of the story, one would think your life must be so sunny and bright, because the hearts are where the clouds behind.
Priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.